I was asked to make a tutorial on this edit right here.
Tonight's the night. Hello, you.
I'm a fucking cop killer.
So I'm just gonna be showing you mainly just two things. What I did is the text at the beginning, the effect that I did for it to make it flutter like that, and the first transition where it kind of all the pixels are like coming out and then it swooshes back in. So the first thing I'm gonna go over is this kind of text flickering effect. The way you make this effect is it is the radial blur effect. It looks like I did 5 keyframes of it, just at like every 2 frames I'd put in a keyframe. I would alternate it with having the amount set to 9 and then 21 and then back to 9 and then back to 21 and then at 0. So that's what I would do for this flickering effect, like that. And I would like put it in between the transitions of the text. That's really it for the text effect. The next thing I did, this is my favorite part, it's the card dance transition. I'll show my settings for that right now. So yeah, I think I did on this adjustment layer. Yes, I did. Okay. So it's kind of a little confusing. I'm just gonna go down one by one for rows, columns, multiplier, and offset, what I did for the graphs of it and what I did for the value. For the rows, I started off with a 1. I went to a 203, then 4 frames later I added just another keyframe of 203, just keeping it the same for a little bit, and then I went back down to 1. Now let me show you the graph for this so that you can copy it. Basically I just dragged it a little bit to the right, and dragged it a little bit to the left, and then did the opposite on the other side. Okay. Now for the columns, I set the first one to 1, then I went to 211, 4 frames later I kept it at 211 again, and then back down to 1. And here is, I did the same thing for the graph, just dragging it to the right and then dragging it to the left and the opposite on the other side. But here's where it gets a little different for multiplier and offset. For the multiplier, I did 0 and then went up to 3.5, kept it at 3.5, and then went back down to 0. And then here's the graph for that. This, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what I was doing here, but that's the graph for it. I don't even know how to explain how I got it to look like that. And then for offset, instead of the usual 4 frame skip, I only did 1 this time. It goes from 0 to 2.2, and then 1 frame later, 1.1. And honestly, it might not even be a bad idea to add another 2.2 right here, just to zoom it back in super fast and then slowly go back down to 0. But you don't have to if you don't want to. This is what I did for the graph. Very interesting. That's what I did for the graph for that. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to the edit. I would just say I'm not gonna go over the color correction because it is a Mars color correction that I paid for. So that would be kind of rude to just show how the color correction is done. Definitely the coolest thing out of this is the card dance transition. You can just mess around with that so much and make insane things, especially mixing it around with other effects. Like I'm gonna pull up something on screen right now. Somebody did the it's like the warp bubble effect with the card dance, and it made it look super cool. Yeah, that's it for the tutorial. If you did end up enjoying the video and you learned something new, subscribe, because I will be posting more tutorials if somebody ever asks how to do them on my TikTok. Thank you.